right? But because before the 1965 Voting Rights Act, we were functionally an apartheid country.
It was also not a great day yesterday because Elie Mystal, this rather portly looking fella from MSNBC, went on The View. That is a combination made in hell. He said a lot of dumb things. It was hard to categorize the amount of dumb things. We put it into Grok. We said, Grok, could you give us the dumbest things that this fat, weird-looking man said? And it couldn't, we actually broke Grok. Grok was down for about 2 hours, could not figure out, could not order the level of stupidity of the things this man said. But here he is talking about how he wants to get rid of every law prior to 1965, and you're not gonna believe why.
One of my premises for the book is that every law passed before the 1965 Voting Rights Act should be presumptively unconstitutional, right? But because before the 1965 Voting Rights Act, we were functionally an apartheid country. Yeah. Not everybody who lived here could vote here. Yeah. So why should I give about some law that some old white man passed in the 1920s, like the Immigration and Nationality Act, when they passed our fundamental...
Okay, yes, it's always about the old white men, yes. And that is racism, by the way, and he is a racist. Other things, there are a bunch of things that were passed before 1965. The Constitution was ratified before then. We had the Declaration of Independence. We became a country. That was pretty good. So that 250 years later, I was going to say the read. But people like you could go on television shows and make a living spouting this nonsense, let's say, right? Do you want to reverse the Equality Act of 1964, right? Is that what you're going for? Like, so that actually businesses can discriminate in hiring practices when it pertains to color of skin? As I said yesterday, you could make a libertarian argument for that you should just let private businesses hire whoever they want, discriminate if they want, not let people come in and get food if they want or anything else. You can make that libertarian argument, but I'm pretty sure that's not what you're making there. But more importantly, there's something about this guy that just irks me. The way he looks, the shape, the marshmallow-like situation. And I've been saying he's half Albert Einstein, half Fat Albert. We did two things with Grok yesterday. We tried first to figure out what the dumbest thing he said was, and then Joey put this together. This really shows you how AI is just transforming the world as you see it. Watch this. One more time. Come on, that's good stuff. That is AI, people. You see how the robots are going to take over. Harrison Crank, who's an ex-commentator, he pointed to this, which that old white men did some stuff. He wrote, wasn't the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863? Yeah, that freed the slaves, by the way. And yes, as I said, the 1964 Civil Rights Act. It's like, dude, our history is not perfect, but there are no laws discriminating against you. The Constitution, which was an aspirational document, that we talk about it all the time, that these white men, that you've whittled them down to their skin color because you're a neo-racist. These white men were dealing with the incredible problems of their time. And we didn't start slavery in America. We actually ended it faster than any nation, right? Because we only existed for basically 100 years before we ended slavery, right? There were countries in Africa and Europe and everywhere else that had slavery for hundreds and thousands of years. But you want to whittle everything down to skin color and to slavery because you are a neo-racist here put on corporate television to spout nonsense, because it's the upending of America. And for some reason, the corporate layer seems to want that. Here he is with more stupid nonsense. Again, we could not get Grok to order this properly, so I don't know that this is any particular order that you're seeing it in.
So what do you see as sort of the marginal changes that are actually really tangible and realistic that could be put in place in the next few years?
I argue that we should eliminate all voter registration laws. Now, that might not sound realistic to you, but I promise you that it is, because we already have voter eligibility requirements, right? An eligibility requirement would be like an age limit, right? 18 to vote, I might say you should be 16, but I'm not gonna say 8. I've got an 8-year-old who does knock, but I've got an 8-year-old, right? We don't want them voting. But once you meet the eligibility requirement, why can't you automatically be registered to vote?
That's right.
Having the second step of voter registration needlessly suppresses the votes for no real benefit. Some people might say, like, oh, it prevents voter fraud. First of all, no, it doesn't. Second of all, voter fraud doesn't exist. Right? If I say I want to go fishing somewhere, and you say, you can't go fishing there. I say, why? Because the Loch Ness Monster might get you. Like that. That's shut up. That's not a good reason to have a law. Now, I personally do not think that I can convince people to open their hearts and minds to immigration. I understand that in our failing country, treating people with respect and decency and humanity is a controversial position. And I cannot change their minds. But we can dang sure make sure that we're not putting people in jail for the crime of existing. That we're not putting people in jail for the crime of not filling out the form in triplicate in the right time and submitting it to the right agent. Immigration status offenses should not be criminal offenses. They should be civil offenses. We shouldn't be ripping people away from their families because they didn't fill out the...
What an absolutely bloated, bloviating buffoon. There's some alliteration for you, right? Little empathy. Illegals here. We have to really care about them. No, we don't. We have a country. It has a border. If you're here legally, you should have the rights as everybody else. And I'm so empathetic and sympathetic, and that's really controversial in our failing country. And I just want people to be nice. Does he strike you as a particularly nice person? Do you think that guy ever picks up the bill when you go out to dinner with him? No, he's a bitter, angry nothing. But of course, thus promoted on The View, and also several times he made points about voter rights and whatever, and he didn't explain why. He said, and shut up if you don't agree with me. Like, just ridiculous. Are you stuck in the yo-yo dieting cycle? You lose weight, gain it all back, plus a few extra pounds, then do it all over again? It's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. Studies show that repeated weight fluctuations can increase your risk of heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and other serious health problems. That's why doctors created Lean, a supplement designed to help you lose weight and keep it off. Unlike injections, Lean is a natural science-backed formula that requires no prescription. It works by supporting healthy blood sugar levels, controlling appetite, and burning fat by converting it into energy. If you're tired of losing weight just to gain it right back and you're ready to lose weight at a healthy, sustainable pace, Lean was made for you. Get 20% off your first order with code Rubin20 at takelean.com. That's Rubin20 at takelean.com. Start your journey today.